I had a burger on the way here, and it by McDonald's.
Thank you very much for joining us for an episode of Film Club. I am one of your hosts, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, Danny Donaldson.
With a bad intro. Sorry.
But you had a burger, that's pretty good.
I fucking can tell, can't you?
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to dine some of cinema's best before meeting back here with us to talk it out. Andy, what are we watching this week?
It doesn't even work. About time. It's stuck.
You started us off on the bad jokes this week.
No, I know, yeah.
Go on. So yeah, about time. What is
Why?
About
Is it always
time?
the fucking time ones? Time travel, I always have to explain. There's a guy who turns 18 and he finds... 21. He finds out that the men in his family can travel through time, only in the past. So he does so, and he wants to use it to find love. His dad used it to find to read and get books, to attain knowledge. But no, this bloke Tim uses it to find a girl, and he finds this girl, falls in love, and he does what he can to help the people around him, but also maintain his relationship, and eventually succeeds in wifing her.
Wifing
and kidding her. Yeah, so it's about him and his accomplishments in life that he used via time travel, and then towards the end he decides he doesn't use time travel. You love this film, don't you?
I do love this film. I really do. Like, I watched this film probably about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I think maybe before we started Film Club. Watched it for the first time after a recommendation of a student. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I remember seeing the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Remember the trailer. I was like, that's a really cool kind of quirky take on time travel because it's very simple. It's his dad sits him down and says, by the way...
I love how they get through all the crap at the first. It's just like, yes, you can't get Hitler. And yes, like butterfly effect. Just skip through that. It's just like sort all that shit.
It's very simple. It's like the men in our family can time travel. We're not going to explain it. You can't kill Hitler. You can't go visit whatever. You can very basic rules. You can go back in any point in your life. That's kind of it. You kind of get the assumption that like they can't go back for too long as well because it seems to only like a moment or days or whatever. And then butterfly effect. You change one thing that could change anything.
But they don't do it massively.
They don't do it massively at all. And it kind of like, it sidelines a lot of the time travel stuff in favor of telling a character story or like a relationship or a love story instead.
Just to clarify, it's Richard Curtis, so Love Actually, and I believe he did Notting Hill, I could be wrong.
He did...
Well, Wednesday Funeral?
What's that? Pirate Radio?
Oh, The Boat of Rocks? The Boat of Rocks?
Yeah, is that it? Where they're all on the boat?
Such a good film.
Which I've never seen Love Actually. And
Richard Jones's Diary.
People give Love Actually a lot of flack.
Yeah, Notting
That's
Hill
why I've never watched it.
Look, what, Love Actually?
Yeah.
It's fucking hot, mate. That's a Christmas film we have to do next year.
It's a Christmas film, right?
Dude,
so I might watch it myself this year.
You've not seen it?
No, never seen it.
Mate, the Rowan Atkinson scene alone makes that film.
So I might give it a go because...
Oh, please do.
One of the strongest things about this film is Richard Curtis as the director.
He's got him all over. All that quirky kind of... There's a really good scene where he's waiting the art studio, the Kate Moss studio exhibition. And he sat on the bench and all these people and the woman sleeps and then that's Richard Curtis.
Interesting use of like the edit, the way in which like he lets time pass.
Humour.
There's that wonderful montage that happens halfway through when they become...
the band.
They're in a relationship and it's all in the subway. It's in the London Underground and the band.
See, what makes me laugh about that, and I was just a bit like, this is, like, as you're saying, this is Richard Curtis through and through. He's put a band in there. He's made a montage with that band playing that have skipped all those moments through time and they're just playing really slow like that. Then at the end, both the actors, or like characters, tip them, give them something like that. So it's almost like really self-referential, I think. And I was just like, I didn't know how I felt, but I was at the end, I was actually, that's actually quite cool.
One of my favourite things about this film is that Richard Curtis knew where to put the emphasis on certain characters. He knew that he needed to build up the dad without overly emphasising the dad to make it obvious that what's going to happen to him.
Well, this is one of my points.
Go on.
Richard Curtis does a fantastic job of selling the story to you. What you do is you actually care about the people and locations.
Yeah.
Kit Kat, Dad, even to some extent his friend, was it Rory? He's fucking awesome, by the way, Rory. All these characters he builds on and cares about, like there's a lot of emphasis on his sister. He cares about not just that, but the actual locations as well. How many times do you see the set being his actual house? Or how many times do you see it as her apartment? How many times do you see it their house? It's only 3 times, 3 major sets that they have with little snippets in between. And I thought, like, it makes me feel that his home in Cornwall is my home. And that's what Richard Curtis does to you. He really has this kind of like nostalgic, this homely sense to his films. It's really kind of like you feel part of that story.
You do. I mean, this is probably the most grounded time travel film ever.
Absolutely,
in terms of like
I agree.
feeling relatable. It's about like actual characters who have regular day lives. It's not someone that goes on like a big time travel adventure. It's not somebody that has this big time travel scheme they're trying to put together. He just happens to be able to time travel and has a regular life. It's weirdly enough, right? It's one of the characteristics that makes something like Spider-Man so endearing to people. Yeah, he has like spider powers, goes and fights crime. But
he's just
half
a
the
natural
drama
kid.
is about him dealing with relationships in regular everyday life. It's the same sort of idea and same philosophy that he applies to this. To the point that, one of the things that struck me watching this again the second time round is watching Kit Kat, and her slow deterioration.
You see it. You see her.
You see her just
and
like
you care about her.
She's just in the background. People just kind of keep blowing her off every now and again, like you do in everyday life. You know, you say, "How are you doing?" to somebody, and they go, "Not so great." You're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like, but you move on from it, and see her just slowly get chipped away at by this like presumably abusive relationship or bad, negative relationship, and then the ultimate kind of effect that has.
You know what was fantastic when she went back in time? She was like, "Oh my god, the party!" She punched him, and then he finds out he has a different kid. I was just like, "That was a proper punch." Then he has to see her, knowing that she's going to get hit by a car. Like that's tough. That's tough, and that.
But again, the
amazing.
Film, wonderful, wonderful pacing by Richard Curtis, because the film never lingers in that decision too much. You feel the weight of it. You feel like, oh my god, you've had to sacrifice like your sister's well-being in some respect. You've had to take the more mature approach to fixing her. You can't give her the quick fix. You have to take a mature approach of like letting her figure out for herself. But then you never linger on that decision too much. You never you feel the weight of it without having to have it hammered home and hammered into your head the whole time.
Which is it's a very Richard Curtis kind of thing in a sense. It's almost like a coming of. He's not a coming of age, but it's coming of age. It's like a very character progression. I mean, he's 21 when he starts. He's 35 when he ends, 40ish.
Yeah, I mean, it's early adulthood coming of age. It's not like your classic teenage coming of age.
No.
He's past that bit. He's 21 when the film starts. It's all about him becoming an adult.
Yeah, essentially. And you can kind of see that in like Love Actually. Not really Notting Hill, but you can get a similar kind of feel for the film. It's always kind of like ups and downs and a bit of comedic value.
Yeah, and all he's doing is he's using the idea of like having this gift of time travel, having this ability to change things as you want, but using that as an allegory for having to grow up.
Yes,
and
the best example
things
at the end
in a mature way.
When he says that he's not, I think I've done one better than Dad in the sense I don't even time travel at all.
Yeah,
I do each day like I'd revisit it again, which I did like that ending. I really liked it. Saying that though, so it's Domhnall Gleeson, so General Hux, that film Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. He was in Frank. You ever seen Frank? Where Michael Fassbender has the big
I need to watch it.
We'll probably do it on Film Club sometime. It's bloody brilliant.
So it's Domhnall Gleeson and it's Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams, everyone will know from The Notebook. My God, she's attractive. And she looks better cute, and she looks better sexy. She's sexy and cute, one of those girls, and I like it cute better. No, but there's a subtle there's a fine line, between sexy and cute. Point is, they're really good. The chemistry's great together. Now, before we go on about the whole characters, Tim, I don't know whether I like him or not. I do, but I don't. How fuck, right? You'll know because you've been married. How the fuck does he go through?
Supposedly.
How the fuck does he go? Does he go through like? He has 3 first sex with her.
Oh yeah.
And 4 weddings.
4 weddings.
Yes, because he drives all the best men.
Yeah, but actually, if you remember how his powers work, when he walks out of the room, all he has to do is go back in time, ask somebody else to be his best man, and he pops back into that moment.
No. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, no, fair play. Okay, Andy's right. Okay, my bad, my cool. I was going to say it's lose all the novelty, but 3 first sex.
Yeah. So, but you actually raise an interesting point, which is the rules of time travel get broken a little bit because the sex point, he doesn't go back in time and then pop back to the original moment. He goes back in time. He stays back in time to have sex again.
Does he?
Well, yeah. You see what I mean? So, like, sorry for everyone who's not into time travel, but let's get into the weeds on this, right? When he's at the wedding,
he stays in that past moment when he.
Yeah, because he's at the wedding. Let's talk about the other version first, where it works. This is how the film established it for the most part. He's at the wedding. He decides he wants to ask someone else to be his best man. So he goes back in time. He asks someone else to be his best man. He pops back to that moment, watches the rest of the speech.
Yeah.
That's how it works with 90% of the film. But that scene where he decides he's going to have sex 3 times with her.
He has sex.
He has sex.
Goes back
he
in
goes
time.
back in time,
Has
then
sex.
stays there the whole time to have sex and never pops back to the original moment.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
Tim.
there's the thing, right? The rules of time travel in every time travel film get broken in some way. In this film, did you care at all when it got broken?
I cared more for the actual what's the word? What he did. He was just like, lose the novel. She only gets 1, he gets 3. It's just like, come on, Tim.
There is that weird kind of imbalance which reflects on his character in a peculiar way. The fact that he never tells her that he can time travel.
Yeah, so that's one of the other things as well. Is like, oh man, that's a bit iffy that because he's so trying to help his the playwright guy that he lives with that he completely like, oh, I haven't got a number. It's like, fuck's sake, come on, man. I know I've seen this film before, but it's like, come on, man. Anyway, stuff like that. Going back to the actual scene, the first scene in which he sees what's she called?
Mary.
Mary, thank God. When he sees Mary, is one of my favourite scenes I've seen in a long time. I thought it was fantastic. Maybe in the...
Do you mean where it's all black?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Like, that, I remember, like, it brought me back, because when I saw it the first time, I was like, wow. But then I saw it again, and I was like, completely forgot about this.
Yeah.
This is a nice treat for me. So I was listening, and it's fucking brilliant. It's fucking, like, wow, brilliant.
Yeah.
And then after, what's amazing is, you know, don't just have that. You have the scene in which she comes out, no talking, it's all done with the eyes. Such contrast of really, really like huge emphasis in audio, and huge emphasis in visual. And I was just like,
the scene which is all about the delivery of the lines and the dialogue itself.
And the intimacy, you can tell their chemistry and intimacy through.
Exactly, you build it through that. You build emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
And then you have the physical attraction.
Yeah, the body language and everything like that.
Yeah, I love that little moment.
That was one of my favourite moments.
Again, actually, to your point, he accidentally fucks that up for her.
Yeah,
she never has that memory.
Man, fuck you, Tim, to some extent.
But like on the other hand, it paints him as a really natural character who can fuck up.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, fair enough. Don't fuck you just yet, Tim. You know, I don't know whether I like it.
He's thinking about fucking you.
Yeah.
Some call me Tim.
Oh, great reference. God. So I was going to go on about, obviously, Richard Curtis and his use of music. I really like the music in this film because whilst you have your score music, I'm actually, for this, have noticed it more for the use of songs. And like you said, you know, they got one with the Subway, which I believe is an original song called About Time.
It's going to be real sort of love it or hate it because of he leans into a style of music and really leans on it.
Yeah, yes. Because I think you've got like your 80s, 70s kind of stuff when he's growing up and he's got those kind of... I can't name the tunes. It just everyone knows those tunes that are playing. It's Nick Laird Close. Whether or not he was involved in actually choosing the songs or it's Curtis, I don't know, but fucking nice.
You have all like that kind of indie rock sort of stuff going on. And then one of my favourite moments when they're getting married, he's coming down the aisle and
the song, the Italian reference.
The Italian, is it Italian? Not jazz.
It's an Italian.
Something. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's the guy with the...
It was the Italian singer anyway, yeah. And
she plays it for him. At first she's like, no, and she plays it, he's like...
So yeah, lovely little sweet moment in terms of their character and them growing as a duo, as a couple. But then her little lovely moments of like starting to dance, he bursts into song, his dad starts dancing, and I'm like, okay, you can see this really funky like family dynamic, which is again getting you all invested. That bit later on, which is just big heartbreak.
Did you do it again?
So I think I might mention this on the show before. This is one of 2 films which has ever made me cry.
Oh, the other one, Up.
The other one is Up.
Yeah.
And if you can make it through like the entirety of Up without crying, you are a heartless monster.
Yeah.
I'm close to being a heartless monster, right?
Heartless monster.
The first time I saw this, wasn't expecting this, and I just cried right at the end. If anyone's never seen it,
it's tough.
His dad is given cancer. He dies.
But he can go back in time with the kids.
Yeah, so for a while he can go back and visit him, but then this thing happens where he decides to have another child.
Yeah.
And it puts a block.
Not seeing his dad again or having a new kid.
Yeah, so he can never go back and visit his dad, and he gets this one last time before the baby's born, and they have this lovely moment which wells the emotion.
Oh man, yeah.
But then when his dad decides he wants to go back in time,
he goes, "Oh, there is something I want to do."
To just this stupid little memory. It's absolutely nothing, but it's him and his son.
But younger, he's Tim's no longer a 25-year-old, 35-year-old.
He's back
whatever.
to being a kid.
He's like 8 years old,
and they're just running on the beach
and holding hands and hugging like they would at that time. It's just like they have no care in the world. They just want to be together.
Yep. And that got me. Like this time, unfortunately, this time it didn't. As what? Funny enough, right? Well, yeah, because like it's nice to have a little bit of a cry at a film every now and again. Like it makes you feel like a human.
Well, those 2 times.
Those 2 times.
You felt human.
So, watching it this time, Natalie's first time watching it.
Oh, was she bawling?
Now, Natalie normally would be the first person to cry at a film, but you know what she's like with time travel films.
What's
so
happening?
the point at which
sorry, now that's harsh.
The point at which they've had that little emotional build up, then it cuts to them on the beach and he's a child, and I'm like, this is the moment where you're either going to cry or you're not going to cry, and Natalie goes, I'm confused.
Thank you, Natalie, once again for being the point of comedy in our show. Thank you.
Like we all know the rule, right? We all know the rule in films. When it gets emotional, no one talks. You don't talk in the room to the people because you let everybody feel their emotions.
Is that why you didn't cry? You were going.
And I was like, I don't like.
For fuck's sake.
Maybe I was going to cry, but at that point, gone.
That's funny. Did you? I hope you didn't explain it to her. You just shook your head at her.
Yeah, I think we talked about it afterwards. I think she said it and she was like, she probably thought, I shouldn't be talking right now.
Fucking hell, Natalie, that's brilliant.
So yeah, it's a really lovely, charming film. I actually think it's not one you can recommend to everybody though.
No, it's. I mean, this is something that me and you might like. It's something my dad might like, but it's not something, say, someone who's heavily into. I don't know where I'm going with this point.
Like, if you're a big horror fan, if you're big into like mainstream Hollywood, even if you're a big sci-fi time travel fan, I don't know if you can recommend this to somebody.
Because this is Richard Curtis through and through. This is very British, very happy, kind of like what's the word? Clumsily English film.
Yep.
Because whether it's Hugh Grant, whether it's Domhnall Gleeson, and the directing of those two. It's Bridget Jones, Renée Zellweger. They all are very, very clumsy, very overly polite British people. It's Richard Dawkins through and through. Dawkins? What's he called again?
Richard Dawkins.
It's Richard Dawkins.
It's Richard Dawkins.
Richard Curtis, fuck. Richard Curtis through and through. And you have to watch Love Actually, mate. So now you watch this, anyone watch this, do watch Love Actually. And the one thing that this film is missing, about time is missing, is fucking Rowan Atkinson. Honestly.
Well, let's face it, every film's better with Rowan Atkinson.
Do you know what? Funny story, actually.
If you could put Rowan Atkinson into Dunkirk, would you?
Yeah. We were watching the Olympic ceremony. My grandma were having a few glasses of wine, a proper like British moment, proper proud. And Rowan Atkinson comes on with the Chariots of Fire bit, and my grandma, she can't stand his face. So we're playing this. I'm loving it. It's, Chariots of Fire, and it's fucking hilarious seeing anyone has seen it. And grandma's going, oh, his face is repulsive. And she's like the loveliest person in the world. One thing my grandma doesn't like is Rowan Atkinson. So yeah.
Oh man. Okay, well, that is About Time. So you can let us know in the comments below what you thought of About Time, or you can hit us up on Twitter as well. We'll be back once again next week, though, with another episode of Film Club where we will be diving into...
Thank you, Elf.
Elf. We're getting Christmassy next week. We've got a couple weeks of Christmassy stuff, even though Christmas is coming around and we will be taking a break. The channel will not. We will still be providing you Film Club every single week. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.